On behalf of Nancy's family, I would like to thank those who have come here. Your presence is very meaningful to the family, and they wish to express their gratitude to you. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a going, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity, from youth to age, from innocence to awareness, and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength, or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness, and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat until looking backward or ahead. We see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey, stage by stage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage, made stage by stage, from birth to death to life everlasting. Death has taken our beloved Nancy. Our friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation. In their tears there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. For Nancy's love that united us in life and which death cannot sever. For her companionship that we shared along life's path, and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of her heart and mind that brought us joy and happiness, and is now a precious remembrance. For all these and more, we give our thanks. For everything there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And with that, I call upon the family members. First, we'll hear from Charlotte.
Find which one's mine. Oh, here it is. Okay. Nancy was an amazing woman. There's a stool in my way, hang on. Okay. No amount of words can truly describe the kind of person that she was. but I will try my best to share with you in words I can express the kind of woman she was to me. First and foremost, she was selfless. The kind of selfless that comes from deep within the soul, a gift from God, and not a trait that was learned. She utilized this selflessness in her career, and because of this gift, she was inducted into the Cleveland Clinic Nursing Hall of Fame, an honor held highest amongst her peers. Another word that comes to mind is strength. She was hands down the strongest person I have ever met. Her strength to endure whatever was thrown in her path was astounding. Sorry. Nancy stood tall in the storm of life and endured what would have crushed others. She had the strength to push through pain and do what needed to be done. Pride. Nancy had pride in all things she accomplished. She celebrated this pride quietly, as she was never one to boast about herself. When Nancy would say, "I'm proud of you," you knew she meant it, and it was the best acknowledgement to hear from anyone. Wisdom. One of the smartest women I have ever known, both common sense and book smart. She could recall events and facts that she read once in a textbook 20 years ago. She could learn a new skill and become a master at it. She could diagnose and treat a patient within moments of meeting them. She was a wealth of knowledge to so many people. Kindness. Her compassion and kindness for others was infectious. She could see the good in everyone and forgive their shortcomings. Funny. She had a wild sense of humor and could make any situation funny. Her laughter and sly grin was also contagious. I will miss hearing that laugh. Nancy was an amazing woman. And for those that knew her, we'll miss her deeply. She may be gone from this earth, but she lives in our hearts and minds. I will always hear her voice inside my head, pushing me to do better. And for that, I am eternally grateful. She was loved. She was treasured. And she will be remembered. Thank you.
This past summer, I had the pleasure of going with Nancy to Europe. Of everywhere Nancy has traveled, Wales was her favorite place. She loved the tranquility and scenery of Wales. On a trip, Nancy had mentioned that she wished she could live in Wales. In her memory, I will read a poem that is often read at Welsh funerals called the Sunset Poem. Every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please do keep thy lovely eye on all poor creatures born today. And every evening at sundown, I ask a blessing on a town, for whether we last the night or no, I'm sure is always touch and go. We are not wholly bad or good, we live our lives under milkwood, and though I know wilt be the first to see our best side, not our worst. Oh, let us see another day, bless us all this night, I pray, and to the sun we all will bow and say goodbye, but just for now.
So, this isn't my thing. I don't do eulogies. I've never done one before. But she was good over the past 3.5 years of taking me out of my comfort zone on everything we did. Whether it be not being able to sit still for 8-10-hour chemo days, or having to listen to her tell me what needs to be done with her children and her family and her funeral arrangements after she was gone. So she's pulled me out of everything I had. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a letter that I wrote her for our Hanukkah get-together that we had last month. It was my gift to her. Dear Aunt Nancy, you have been the hardest person in the world this year to come up with gifts for. What do you give the woman who has given you everything? What can you give back to her that has any meaning? An Amazon card? It doesn't even hit the tip of the iceberg. I have decided your big gift for me is going to be this. It's going to be a list of promises that I give you, as well as a list of promises from you. That will be our exchange. First, let me start with, you have been a mother beyond mothers to me, and a grandmother to Haley and Matthew at all times. Some people are fortunate enough to have one mother, but how fortunate am I to have two? Two. And for Haley and Matthew to have a grandmother that has filled in the gaps that have been missing in life. You said to me when the illness was diagnosed that you would never get to see your grandchildren. Haley and Matthew could not have wished for a better grandparent, a better role model, a better angel to watch over them and guide them through their paths of life. I couldn't ask for a better second mother. I owe every success, every failure that I have learned from, every accomplishment, every life experience, and the heart that I possess to you. I owe it all to you. Nobody else has been so monumental in the sculpting of Dan Solomon. Nobody. Just you, Nancy Beth Alexander, the one that I am proud to stand by, the one who has accomplished everything in life, the one that could never watch someone hurt or need without helping them, the one who was strong enough to turn their head and watch when necessary, to let someone fall and learn so they could learn their own life lesson and learn it right. I owe it all to you. A role model is defined as a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially by younger people. That is the perfect description of who you are. You are an amazing mother, an amazing husband, an amazing aunt, an amazing grandmother, an amazing sister, an amazing nurse, an amazing superior, an amazing friend. You are Nancy Alexander, RN BSN. You won the Cleveland Clinic Nursing Hall of Fame, it was well deserved to you. All of my successes have been to emulating your success and behavior throughout life. Yes, you guided me along the way, but most of them were from observing the woman that you are, the heart that you have, and the attitude towards life that you always take. You always used the term with me that I could not stand. It is what it is. I always hated that term. But I have come to find comfort in that term as of lately. It really is what it is, and I cannot fix and change this, even though I would love to. You are an amazing role model to me and my kids, and we can never thank you enough for that. You changed my diapers. You changed Matthew and Haley's diapers. You took me places. You showed me the world, literally. You are my shoulder to cry on, my shoulder to share happiness, my nagger to keep me on track. You took me to my graduations, helped me through high school and college, took me on vacations, took me to my state boards, my failed CPNEs, and took me to Toledo to save my licensing and my college degree. I even remember you coming to my elementary school to teach CPR with your little Annie and to talk about the heart with the model of the heart to my classmates. I was, am, and always will be so proud to be a part of you. So my promise is to you and my gift to you. I promise to live every moment of my life in your shadow, to do what Nancy would do or Nancy would tell me, and always stay on the right path. I promise to raise my children with the same ideals. I promise to always, every moment, hold you close in my heart and never let you go. I promise to be there for Omar, Sean, and Sam, and your sister, for as long as I'm here on this earth. I promise to never let anyone forget the beautiful, amazing woman that you are. What I would like from you is my gift. I want you to watch over me and Jesse and Charlotte and Haley and Matthew and Omar, Sean, Sam, Chris, my mother, and all of your friends and family every moment you can. I know you will spend lots of time with Stephen, Corey, and Grandma and the other relatives and friends that we've lost, but when you can, just peek your eye out and give us a quick look. A quick nudge if we need it, a quick lecture, or a facial growl if we need to be redirected in the right path. I want you to watch over and be there for their weddings, their graduations, their last day of schools, their first day of school, their smiles, their frowns, their sad moments, and their happy moments. The consolation prize in all of this, or I should say the bigger prize, the bigger gift from God, is you will always be there for all of us as you always have. If I had to choose a strong, loving, caring, and an all-around just great person to watch over us, it would surely be you. I love you so much, and I will never ever have the time to put into words how much I love you and appreciate you. So please know I do and always will. I don't need a checkbook to open or a debit card to swipe to fill my life on birthdays and holidays. I need my role model, my mother, my aunt, my kid's grandmother, to always watch over us and always be there. And I have that. So I guess with all of the tears I have cried and will cry, and the soaking of the keyboard now from writing this letter to you, there shouldn't be. There should be a smile and a feeling of fulfillment. Because I already have received the best gift, a true gift from God, and I am already the luckiest man on earth. Because I have Aunt Nancy. I have it all, and I will never bow my head and think I need more, because I don't. I thank you for everything you have given me and will continue to give me, and I love you more than anything.
The first time I met Nancy, it was not a meeting of joy. It was when, unfortunately, I had to make the arrangements for the burial of her and Omar's son, Stephen. What impressed me at that time is the words that you just heard about Nancy. It's all true. She was a strong, loving, and giving person. She loved her husband Omar. She was married to for a good number of years. 32. In today's society, that's a long time. She was a good mother, a loving mother to her 3 sons and to her adopted son. She was a good aunt, a fantastic sister, a loving person, a sharing and giving person. And when the 3 people who just spoke, they mentioned her qualities, Charlotte, Jesse, and Dan. And I'm going to relate just an experience of my own, not with Nancy, but what they said was what my son once said to me about a person who enters nursing. My son is an orthopedic surgeon. And when he finished his fellowship, he was offered a job at a very large hospital. And they even said to him, if you wish, we will allow you to bring 1 or 2 of your surgical nurses with you. Because I guess surgeons like certain nurses. And my son answered, no, I don't need to bring any surgical nurses that I've worked with. Because I know the people that go into this career, the men and the women, Go in it for the reason of wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to lessen the suffering, and that anyone who you give me would be sufficient because they'll have those qualities. And we heard those qualities echoed today of what it takes to be a nurse in today's society. But not only does those qualities of being a nurse carry over, but those same qualities come in as being a wife, a mother, an aunt, a grandmother, and a friend. If we all think of it, Nancy extended herself way beyond for all of us and for strangers. And this was a gift given to us by Nancy. And today, even though we bury her body, we don't bury that gift. We don't bury that love. We don't bury those memories, Omar. We still have those. It's hard to understand that right now because we grieve. But in the coming days, those memories, those gifts will become stronger, and we will always hold them in your hearts and in your mind. I found this one reading that I would like to share with you. In the rising of the sun and its going down, we will remember her. In the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, in the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring, we will remember Nancy. In the rustling of leaves and the beauty of autumn, in the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember her. So long as we live, Nancy too shall live, for she is now a part of us as we remember her. We are assembled with our friends in the darkness that has fallen upon them. We raise our voices together, asking for comfort and strength. We need light when gloom darkens our lives. We need fortitude and courage when pain and loss assail us. May we find these in God who preserves from destruction all that is good. Let us find them too in loved ones and companions who do work binding up the wounds of the stricken. Who among us has not passed through trials and bereavements? Some bear fresh wounds in their hearts and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrow. Others whose days of mourning are more remote still recall the comfort that sympathy brought to their sorrowing hearts. May our sharing of sorrow and our deeds of solace bring comfort to the loved ones of Nancy Alexander. Please rise. In the Jewish religion, the belief is that when we die, our soul returns to God. God made that soul. God takes that soul back for his keeping. As I mentioned to the family, there is no purgatory or hell in Judaism. All souls return to God. This particular prayer that I'm going to read first in Hebrew and then in English expresses that belief. El Malei Rachamim Shochem Bramomim Amsei Minucha Nacha Tacha Kamfei Hashkina Im Kudoshim Hurakim Kazar Harakia Misarim Es Nishmas Nancy Alexander Shalach Leolomo Bial Harachamim Vat Yastu Rehu Besezer Kanafo Leolamim Vayitzror Pitzor HaChayim Es Nishmato, Adonai Hu Nachalato, V'Yanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkavav V'Namar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Nancy Alexander, who has entered eternity. God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance, and may she rest in peace. And let us all say, Amen. This concludes our service here at the chapel. We will be proceeding to Mount Olive Cemetery for the burial. I'm going to ask those who are pallbearers to step forward at this time.